Most people think a raise is progress. You earn more. You feel safer. You assume you're moving forward. But quietly, raises stopped doing what we think they do. My name is RJ, and today we're here to talk about why raises don't make you rich anymore, what changed, why it matters right now, and how the math underneath your paycheck quietly stopped working the way it used to. Let's start with a familiar moment. You open an email from HR. Congratulations, your performance was strong. You're getting a raise, 3%, maybe 4%. If it's a good year, 5%. You feel relief, maybe even pride. And then, nothing really changes. Your life doesn't feel easier. Your savings don't suddenly grow faster. You're still careful at the grocery store, still thinking twice about big expenses. That's not in your head. That's the system. For most of modern history, raises actually meant something. Not emotionally, mathematically. When wages rose faster than living costs, every raise expanded your future. You didn't just earn more, you gained margin. More room to save, more room to invest, more room to recover from mistakes. That margin is what created wealth for middle-class workers, and that margin is mostly gone. Here's why. Raises live in nominal dollars. Your life runs on real costs. Inflation doesn't hit evenly. Your raise might be 3%, but your rent goes up 8%. Your insurance goes up 10%. Your groceries creep higher every quarter. So even when you win, you're often just treading water, and sometimes you're quietly moving backward. This didn't happen overnight. It happened slowly enough that people adjusted instead of revolted. Start with housing. Housing used to be a manageable slice of income. Now it dominates budgets. When housing absorbs more of every raise, that raise never compounds. It just disappears. Then healthcare. Healthcare costs don't rise smoothly. They jump. Premiums reset. Deductibles rise. Out-of-pocket costs surprise you. Your raise gets eaten by expenses you didn't choose. Then debt. Student loans, auto loans, credit cards filling gaps that raises used to cover. Debt turns raises into maintenance payments instead of progress. Now, zoom out. Even when inflation is low, raises still struggle. Why? Because raises are linear, but costs compound. Your salary goes up in steps, your expenses rise continuously. And wealth doesn't grow from steps, it grows from spread. The difference between what you earn and what you need. That difference used to widen naturally with experience. Now it often stays flat or shrinks. And here's the uncomfortable part. Raises feel personal, but they're mostly structural. You can negotiate better, you can perform well, you can job hop strategically, but you're still operating inside a system where labor income has lost leverage. Productivity rose, corporate profits expanded, asset prices exploded, wages lagged. That gap didn't vanish, it went somewhere else, into assets. Stocks, real estate, businesses, places where raises don't apply, which creates a strange illusion. You work harder, you earn more, but the people who already own assets pull away faster, not because they're smarter, but because they're playing a different game. Raises reward time, assets reward scale. Time is finite, scale compounds. That's the hidden mechanism most people never see, and it explains something important. Why good salaries no longer guarantee wealth. 6 figures sounds rich until you realize it's still tied to hours, still taxed heavily, still exposed to rising costs. A high income without ownership behaves more like a treadmill than a ladder. You move fast, but the ground moves too. Now let's add another layer, taxes. Raises often push you into higher brackets, higher benefit costs, lower subsidies. Your gross income rises, your net improvement shrinks, sometimes dramatically, which creates a psychological trap. You feel successful, but your financial position barely changes. That gap between effort and outcome creates quiet frustration, not anger, fatigue. People don't feel broke, they feel stuck, and that's dangerous because stuck people keep playing a game that no longer pays the way it used to. Now zoom out again. This isn't just about individuals, it reshapes society. When raises stop building wealth, people delay milestones, home ownership, children, entrepreneurship, risk-taking. The economy slows in subtle ways. People become cautious, short-term focused, defensive. And here's the irony. The system still tells the same story. Work hard, climb the ladder, get raises. But the ladder is leaning against a different wall now. Raises still matter. They just don't do what they used to do alone. They stabilize. They don't transform. And that forces a reframing. If raises don't make you rich, what do they actually do? They buy time. Time to invest. Time to adapt. Time to reposition. Raises aren't the engine anymore. They're the fuel. What matters is where that fuel goes. Because wealth now comes from leverage. Not financial leverage, structural leverage. Ownership, automation, scalable income. Not overnight, not magically, but consistently. This is where many people misunderstand the shift. They think the message is raises don't matter. That's wrong. The real message is that raises don't finish the job. They're inputs, not outcomes. They only matter if they create distance between you and your expenses. If every raise gets absorbed by lifestyle inflation and fixed costs, nothing compounds. But if raises are redirected, even partially, into assets, flexibility, or reduced obligations, they start behaving differently, quietly, slowly, but measurably. And that brings us to the uncomfortable question. If raises don't make you rich, what does? And more importantly, how many people are still chasing raises without realizing the rules changed years ago? Because systems don't announce updates, they just stop rewarding old behavior. And the people who notice early don't complain louder, they adapt. The rest keep celebrating raises while wondering why the finish line keeps moving.